The United States of America, a glorious place where people have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Also known as a land of opportunity, a place where people go to start their lives, to work hard, and achieve prosperity and success. This land has always been seen as prominent. Since 1630, English passengers of the Arbella knew they were going to be an example for the whole world to see. John Winthrop's speech set up the foundation of the American dream. The American dream is seen so differently by each person and each culture, and has developed so much over time, but the basis still remains the same.
Grandkids. Barack knows the American dream because he's lived it. And he wants everyone in this country, everyone, to have the same opportunity no matter who we are or where we're from.
Although some people do tend to see it differently.
The owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
For many Americans who come from wealthy backgrounds, the American dream is easily conquered. But for those who come from low-income environments, see the opportunities of the American dream as necessary to become significant members of society. Paulina Becerra says that as a 17-year-old
minority from a low social class, I just don't feel like my opinion is as valued as someone who has attained the American dream, which is financial security and a good position. So I want to use the American dream to make my opinions more valued.
For immigrants from less developed countries, the American dream is a hope for a better life.
It's, for me, is the number one country to give it a chance to live better to everybody around the world.
How is it better? What does it give to people that makes it better?
Well, to get a job and working with no problem about somebody wanna come to your house and shoot you. Well, these things they can see all over the world, but in other countries it's very dangerous for everybody.
Do you think that in America it's good that we can move higher? So you can start off very low in a family and you can get an education and become something better?
Yeah, especially when we come to the United States to work for the family, we expect to give the family better education so they can get a better good jobs and in the future and live it better than we do.
He has a mentality similar to that of Troy from Fences, living in a way to acquire what is necessary, supporting your family and working hard to do so. Since he was an immigrant, a person who got to experience the U.S. for the first time and compare it to his previous life, he can see its value in a way citizens who are born here cannot. Angelina and Daniel Jimenez, successful members of society, say, "What do you think the American dream is?"
I think the American dream, for me personally, I feel like it was maybe a generation or two before my time, where my grandparents came to America from Mexico and wanted to build a family here and to build a life here. I think it's about being successful and being able to provide for your family. For me personally, I feel like because I was born here, that I'm not seeking the American dream, that I just have dreams I want to achieve because I've already am American. So that's kind of how I see it.
I definitely agree. I achieved my dreams, but I think my parents achieved the American dream of immigrating from Mexico. You know, they were both very hardworking, and they provided for us. They gave me the opportunity to just fulfill my dreams, but they had the American dream. And I was able to do what I'm doing now because of them.
Yeah, and I think just in thinking about that too, we always try to be better than or have more than what our parents had. And I think that's their dream for us too. Like for my mom, she always says that that she wants us to just be more successful than she was. And I feel at this, and it's not always about being more financially successful, but just overall in life and happiness. And so that's what I hope to pass on to our kids too one day when we have them, is to just provide them with more than I had, so that they can then
fulfill their own dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever that looks like.
This demonstrates the perspective of people who have made their way through struggles different than those who had to start a whole new life in America. Although some people see it that way, many, especially children of immigrants, can recognize the purpose of migrating to a whole new country. Why did Papa come to live in the United States of America?
To live a better life.
How was he going to live a better life here?
Better houses, better education, and if you have a kid, you could put him in a school, because in Mexico you gotta pay for your kid, and here it's free, and he could learn a lot of stuff that you don't know.
Yeah?
And better job, you could get paid more.
So, what does an education mean to you? Why do we have to go to school?
Because so you can learn and not be dumb or anything, not know anything. And you can learn a lot of stuff.
And what do you do after you go to school?
You go to college, get a job, get money, live in a house, live a good life.
Stephen, at such a young age, acknowledges the difference in the way his life would have been without the migration of his parents. Of course, not all children in Mexico grow up poor, but the children my father would have grown up in the inescapable poverty of his youth. Sairita Afadonis sees the American dream as a way to help people.
Growing up, it seemed like the American dream was attaining the most stuff. But as an adult, I realized that the American dream is finding a purpose to your life, and that stuff doesn't really matter because you're never going to be happy with material things, but you do find joy when you have a purpose in your life, whether it be helping people or teaching someone or just helping your community.
She doesn't see it as a way to progress through money or social mobility or material objects, but as a way to progress in personal fulfillment. This is a very unique viewpoint that should be spread and achieved more often. This is similar to the viewpoint of Huckleberry Finn. Afadonis' idea of the American dream consists of growing up and helping people. In The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Huck morphs the idea of the American dream to helping a person for fulfillment and not for money. The American dream is seen so differently through every person's eyes. Is it easier for some people to live than others? Absolutely. But see, that is exactly the point. It would not be called the American dream if it was not something that needed to be worked towards. American society is continually progressing, whether it's through technology, education, or assembling a better society. And the basis of the American dream is what keeps it going. There will always be so many obstacles and inequalities in a society, but the American dream offers the opportunity to bring the future into the hands of the hard worker.